China, 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 China,
China, China, China, China, China, China, China, China, China, China, China, China, China, China, China. I have to have my China.
China, China. Gong, not bell, gong. Chicken to China, the Chinese chicken. That's all the lyrics I know. Sorry. So if you've been following the developments in the Philippine automotive industry, you'll know that there are more and more models coming in from China. And as such, we are being flooded with so many questions about these Chinese vehicles, more than actually I can handle. I'm a short guy, there's not much I can handle. Which is why we've decided to put together this little segment entitled The Truth About Chinese Cars. Why the hell are you holding a You wise ass. Now when it comes to automobiles and China, you kind of drift towards the terms like knockoff and counterfeit. And really, it's easy to see why. In the past, China really hasn't had the best reputation here in the Philippines or in China for that matter. There were as many of you that would testify that there were a lot of knockoffs of Western vehicles. Knockoffs like the Lifan 320, which, looking at it, it's like the poor man's Mini Cooper. Then you've got the Geely GE. Now, man, that's gotta be a copycat of the Rolls-Royce Phantom. Outright. And then the Landwind X7. Bro, this thing looks like it's a copy of the Range Rover Evoque. Come on! The truth is, what you were thinking before is true. There are definitely a lot of rip-offs by Chinese brands or manufacturers of more expensive Japanese, European, and American cars. In fact, in China, they even have their own term. Earl? Shit. Like that? Bilingual, dude. Here in the Philippines, Chinese brands like Lifan, Geely, and Chery did try to launch at the turn of the millennia. Unfortunately, it did not take long before they went kersplat. But that was then. This is now. So really, what's changed? Well, first off, we have to define exactly what it is that we're talking about, as Chinese cars fall under 3 categories. Number 1, the purest definition of a Chinese car. Chinese owned, Chinese branded. Examples include the likes of Geely, Bike, JAC, GAC, Chery, Chang'an, BYD, Photon, Haima. Now, I haven't had the opportunity to test drive all of those vehicles, and certainly it's very much a mixed bag. Some vehicles are good, some vehicles, well, really just are not up to scratch. But then there are gems, like for example, the Geely Coolray, which we just finished a test drive on. I was completely enamored and surprised by that car because when you get in, your defenses are down because you don't think that it's a Chinese car. It's just your average Japanese, American, or even European car. If you'd like to see the complete review on that, click right here, but not just yet. Wait until at least you finish the video. Oh, and while we're at it, please do hit the subscribe button because we don't want you to miss out on any of our videos and we love creating them just for you. So back to our topic. Are Chinese cars any good? Sure, some of them definitely are. And that's because they're simply buying into the expertise and technologies from overseas. Not to put them on a pedestal or anything, but take Geely again for example. Geely is the largest privately owned car manufacturer in China that also owns Swedish luxury brand Volvo. They also own a 10% stake in Germany's Daimler that owns the Mercedes-Benz brand and, check this, put together a $1.9 billion revival plan for the iconic British sports car brand Lotus. Now, Chery, on the other hand, have a foreign joint venture with JLR to produce Jaguar and Land Rover cars in China. They should make a Range Rover long enough that Yao Ming will fit inside. Seriously, that poor dude. A similar case can be made for Chang'an Automobile Group, who have a joint venture to produce Suzuki, Ford, Mazda, and PSA Peugeot Citroën in China. GAC also does this for Fiat, Honda, Isuzu, Mitsubishi, and Toyota. The point I'm trying to make here is that many of these brands already have experience in producing cars in partnership with American, European, and Japanese brands. Which, by the way, brings me nicely to category number 2, Chinese-owned, foreign-badged. Now, aside from the two that I had just mentioned, Volvo and Lotus, we also have the likes of British brand MG. Now, in 2005, MG was bought by Nanjing Automobile Group, which later got merged with SAIC, China's largest car manufacturer. So products like the MG3 and the MG5 models were designed in Longbridge and produced in China. It's basically in the same manner that your iPhone was designed in California but built in China. Talking about another gem, the MG ZS. Wow, that's a great car. Value for money too. Much in the same way that in 2018 I said that the Vitara was the dark horse, 2019 looked to have been the year for the ZS. In fact, MG just recently announced that they had sold over 5,000 units in 2019, led by the MG ZS. I am not surprised. And finally, the third category, China built, period. That's right. Some of your favorite non-Chinese brands may actually be manufactured in China. A prime example of this is the Volkswagen Group. For over 20 years, they've been manufacturing Audis and Volkswagens right there in China. In 2017 alone, the Volkswagen Group had over 3.14 million domestic sales in China. So what do you call that? Chinese bratwurst? Is it? So China is getting more experience in developing vehicles through its acquisitions and business partnerships. But really, how's the ownership experience? Now, we've all heard about the reliability issues and servicing problems of Chinese-made cars in the past. Now, while I can't give any guarantees at this time, what I can tell you is that the companies and the people behind the companies bringing these brands in, well, that's where the magic happens. MG, for example, is being brought in by the same group that imports Chevy and Volvo. Whereas Geely is a venture with a Japanese-owned Sojitz Corporation, who were previously major stockholders in Mitsu Motors Philippines and are currently importers of Fuso commercial vehicles. Chery, on the other hand, is being brought in under the helm of the same group as Photon. Maxus is being brought in under AC Industrials, which includes the automotive wing of Ayala Corporation. Chang'an is being imported by the same family as those who import Mazda and SsangYong. The list goes on and on, as do too the testimonials of some people that have already bought Chinese cars. Case in point, a very good friend of mine bought one. He who has the power to buy himself a Japanese car opted for a Chinese car, and so I asked him why. Why that particular car and why that particular brand? He simply said, because I trusted the people that were behind the brand and behind the company. Some people that were behind a Japanese brand in the past. So there's that connection with the buyer as well, which is getting better and better and better through time. And additionally, dealers supporting these developments are household names like the Auto Hub Group, the Laos Group, and the Yuchenko Corporation. So in conclusion, where exactly are we? The cars are definitely getting better. And given the people involved, just like my example earlier, the customer support should be better for these Chinese brands, much better than those of yesteryear. Like everything, however, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, in the same way that you shouldn't judge a car simply by its point of origin. Check out our other videos on YouTube, specifically Behind the Wheel, to see what I think about these Chinese cars and or brands, as well as our testimonials on our website, AutoDeal.com.ph. There too, you can book yourself a test drive to see what it feels like in your own hands. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.